Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive with us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again.
Today we're going to be looking at one of the biggest mysteries from ancient Egypt.
That's right, the search for Cleopatra's tomb.
You know, I would have thought for someone so famous and whose life we know so much about, that her tomb would be easy to find.
You'd think it would be like screaming at us, "Look at me, I'm full of treasure."
Right, exactly.
But no, it's more like it's playing a giant game of hide and seek with us.
And that's what makes it so exciting, right?
Exactly.
So where do we even begin?
Well, we're going to be following different teams of archaeologists who are all working across Egypt,
Okay,
each with their own theories and methods trying to solve this mystery.
I like it. So are we talking like high-tech radar-flooded tunnels?
Oh, you better believe it.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even a late-night trip to the hospital with a bunch of mummies.
Okay, you've got my attention now.
Good.
So where's our first stop on this archaeological treasure hunt?
Our first stop takes us to the Valley of the Kings. Oh, the Valley of the Kings? I love it.
Yeah, the burial ground of so many famous pharaohs.
Right.
But we're not focusing on the big names like Tut or Ramses this time.
Okay.
This time we're looking at something a bit different, an unfinished tomb.
An unfinished tomb who left their, home decor project half done.
This one belonged to Ramses the 11th.
Okay.
Now, he was the last pharaoh to be buried in the Valley of the Kings.
Wow, the last one? Okay.
And the fact that it's unfinished, that gives us a big clue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you see, this points to a period of, upheaval and instability in ancient Egypt.
Okay.
Looting had become so bad that even the pharaohs who were, considered gods on earth couldn't guarantee the safety of their own tombs.
Wow, that's crazy to think about. Like, if the pharaohs couldn't protect their tombs, what hope did anyone else have?
Exactly, and this is what John and Colleen Darnell,
Okay.
two renowned Egyptologists, they're trying to figure out as they explore this unfinished tomb.
Okay.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle, right, where some of the pieces are missing.
But those missing pieces could be the key to understanding why Cleopatra chose to be buried somewhere else entirely.
Right, so if the Valley of the Kings was out, where do they go?
Well, one logical place to look would be Alexandria.
Alexandria. Oh, yeah, makes sense, right? Cleopatra's kind of home turf.
Exactly. It was a magnificent city, right? A center of trade and culture,
Yeah.
founded by her ancestors.
So it makes sense she'd want to be buried there to be close to her family's legacy.
It does, but there's a bit of a problem.
Okay, what's that?
Well, a lot of Alexandria is underwater now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember reading about that earthquakes and rising sea levels have taken their toll. But surely archaeologists aren't letting a little thing like being underwater stop them.
You know them better than that.
Right.
Archaeologists like Dr. Ross Thomas and Professor Imad Khalil,
Okay.
they're diving into the past, literally exploring the sunken ruins.
Wow, underwater archaeology now, that's got to be challenging.
It is, but they're finding some incredible stuff. Doorways, columns, even what they think might be a piece of the pharaoh's lighthouse.
Wow, the Pharaoh's Lighthouse, that's legendary.
It is.
So they're finding all these amazing things, but have they found any sign of Cleopatra's tomb yet?
Not yet, but what they're finding is still really important. It helps us to understand the world that Cleopatra lived in.
That makes sense. So we've got the Valley of the Kings and we've got underwater Alexandria. Where do we go next in our search?
Well, our next stop takes us to a site called Taposiris Magna.
Taposiris Magna. Okay, I've heard of this.
Have you?
Yeah, it's a temple, right? Dedicated to Isis.
That's right. And this is where we meet Kathleen Martinez.
Kathleen Martinez, and who's she?
She's actually a lawyer turned archaeologist.
Oh, wow. Talk about a career change.
I know, right?
So what's her connection to Taposiris Magna?
Well, she is absolutely convinced that Cleopatra is buried there.
Really? Why is that?
She believes that Cleopatra very deliberately chose this location because of its connection to Isis.
Oh, okay. So Cleopatra was really into Isis.
She even saw herself as a living embodiment of the goddess.
Wow, so she was like a divine ruler, a goddess on earth.
Exactly. And Kathleen thinks that this connection to Isis would have influenced Cleopatra's choice of burial place.
I see. So by being buried in a temple dedicated to Isis, Cleopatra was solidifying her link with the goddess even in death.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's a fascinating theory. But is there any actual evidence at the site itself to support it?
That's where things get even more interesting. Kathleen's team has uncovered a shaft leading down to a network of tunnels.
Okay.
And you want to know the best part?
Yeah.
These tunnels are flooded.
Flooded tunnels, so they're dealing with ancient booby traps and a potential underwater maze.
It's like something out of an Indiana Jones movie.
I love it.
I know. And at the end of one of these flooded tunnels, they found a blocked doorway.
A blocked doorway. Oh my gosh, can you imagine being the one to find that, knowing that something incredible could be hidden just beyond it?
I know, and to make things even more dramatic, Kathleen's excavation permit is about to expire.
Oh no. So it's a race against time to see what's behind that door.
And
Now that's what I call suspense.
it's moments like this that make archaeology so captivating.
I agree. It's like we're on the edge of a major discovery.
We might be.
But even if it turns out not to be Cleopatra's tomb, think about everything they've already found at Epicyrus Magna.
You're right. Every discovery, every artifact brings us closer to understanding the past.
And speaking of discoveries, our next stop takes us to a completely different location.
Oh, where are we going now?
We're heading south to the ancient necropolis of Qubit el Hawa in Aswan.
Okay.
And this is where we meet another amazing archaeologist,
Who's that?
Alejandro Jimenez Serrano.
Okay.
And let me tell you, he has found something truly remarkable.
What is it?
A golden death mask.
No way.
Yes, way beautifully preserved after thousands of years.
Wow, a golden death mask. You know, you really do have a knack for finding these fascinating stories.
Well, that's what we do here on Deep Dive.
That's right.
So who was this mysterious masked individual?
Well, Alejandro's team had to decipher the hieroglyphs on the mask, and it wasn't easy. But they eventually identified him as Seti Hakaib Inet.
Seti Hakaib Inet. Okay, I'll try to remember that one.
So we're not just talking about pharaohs here. We're
Right.
getting glimpses into the lives of other important people in ancient Egypt.
It's amazing to think about all the treasures that were buried with them.
It is, and it tells us so much about their beliefs about the afterlife.
They really went all out, didn't they?
They did. They believed that death was just a transition to another realm,
Right.
and they wanted to be prepared for that journey.
So they packed their bags for the afterlife.
Yeah, you could say that, but it wasn't just about gold and riches.
I was just going to ask about that because I know they also buried practical items too, right? Like tools and food.
Exactly. They needed those for their journey.
And what about those amulets? I always have been fascinated by those.
The amulets. Oh, yeah, those were incredibly important.
What did they believe about them?
They believed they had magical powers.
Mm-mm.
Especially in the afterlife, they were thought to protect the deceased and guide their souls.
So kind of like spiritual insurance.
In a way, yes.
Makes sense.
Now, this brings us to another really interesting part of Alejandro's work.
Okay.
Along with the golden mask, they also found some mummies at Qubit el Hawa.
Right.
But instead of unwrapping them, which can be, risky for the mummies,
Oh yeah, they're so fragile.
right, he decided to try something a bit more modern.
What did you do?
He took them for CT scans.
Wait, you took the mummies to the hospital?
Yeah.
Wow, I never would have thought of that.
Well, it's a brilliant way to examine the mummies without damaging them.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what did they find out?
Well, the scans revealed all sorts of information about the mummies, their age, their health, even how they died.
Wow.
But one scan in particular was really amazing.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
One of the mummies they thought was male turned out to be female.
Really?
And what's even more incredible, she had a perfectly preserved scarab amulet right over her heart.
A scarab amulet. That's so cool.
It is, isn't it?
So can you remind me what the scarab beetle symbolized?
Yeah. Oh, sure. So in ancient Egypt, the scarab beetle was a symbol of rebirth and transformation.
Rebirth and transformation. So it was like a good luck charm for the afterlife.
Yeah, you could think of it that way. It was meant to help the deceased navigate the challenges of the underworld and ensure their successful journey.
Wow, it's amazing how much symbolism and meaning the ancient Egyptians packed into these tiny objects.
It is, and it's even more amazing that this little amulet has survived for thousands of years.
Right, it's like a direct link to their beliefs and rituals, a tiny window into their world.
It makes you wonder what other secrets are still out there waiting to be discovered.
I know, it really does.
It does.
So we've explored the Valley of the Kings, we've dove into the depths of Alexandria, and we've even taken a trip to the hospital with some mummies.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
But let's not forget our main goal, finding Cleopatra's tomb.
Oh, that's right. We can't get sidetracked by all the other amazing discoveries.
Exactly. So let's go back to Kathleen Martinez and that blocked doorway in the flooded tunnel at Epicyrus Magna. With her permit about to expire, she needs a way to see what's beyond that door without actually opening it.
So what does she do?
Well, she brought in some high-tech help, ground-penetrating radar.
Ground-penetrating radar now? That's getting serious.
It is. They were basically using radio waves to create an image of what's hidden underground.
So it's like having X-ray vision for archaeology.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
It is. So what did this high-tech peek beneath the surface reveal?
Well, the results were pretty amazing.
I'm officially intrigued.
The radar detected a large chamber directly beneath the temple entrance.
A hidden chamber. Oh my gosh, could this be it?
It could be. The question is what's inside.
I know, I can't wait to find out.
We too.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this part of our deep dive. But don't worry, we'll be back soon to continue the search for Cleopatra's tomb.
I can't wait.
Me neither, stay tuned.
I know, right? Talk about a cliffhanger.
I am so ready to see what's inside that chamber.
Me too. But while we wait to see what Kathleen and her team find, it's worth thinking about how much we've already learned in this deep dive.
Yeah, you're right. We've covered so much ground already.
Yeah.
Sunken cities, golden masks, mummies, getting CT scans.
It's incredible how much information archaeologists can get from just a few fragments of the past.
And how they put it all together like a giant puzzle.
Exactly.
Speaking of puzzle pieces, that brings us back to the big mystery, Cleopatra's death.
Oh, right. The story of Cleopatra and the asp, the venomous snake.
It's one of the most famous deaths in history.
It is, but is there more to the story than just a tragic end to avoid capture?
I was just thinking about that myself.
You were?
Yeah, like what was the symbolism behind her choice of death?
Well, that's something that John and Colleen Darnell have been looking into.
Yeah.
You remember we left them in the Valley of the Kings studying the tomb of Seti?
Oh, yeah, that's right. The pharaoh who ruled centuries before Cleopatra.
Right.
That tomb was incredible. So much detail and symbolism.
Yeah, and in one of the chambers they found a depiction of the goddess Wadjet.
Wadjet, the cobra goddess.
Exactly, and Wadjet wasn't just any goddess.
Right.
She was the protector of Egypt and its pharaohs, a symbol of divine power and authority.
Oh, wow. So when Cleopatra chose to die by snakebite, she wasn't just choosing any snake. She was choosing a cobra, a symbol of Wadjet.
Exactly.
So there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye.
There is, John and Colleen believed that Cleopatra was making a statement with her death.
Okay, what kind of statement?
She was connecting herself to the legacy of her ancestors, to the very essence of Egyptian power.
Wow. So it wasn't just a suicide, it was a symbolic act.
Yeah.
A way to reclaim her place in history.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. It really adds a whole new layer to this story.
It does, and it makes you think about her burial too, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. If she identified so strongly with Wadjet,
Yeah.
wouldn't she want her tomb to reflect that connection somehow?
It's a good question, and it makes Kathleen Martinez's theory about Tapas Ceres Magna even more intriguing.
Because it's a temple dedicated to Isis, another powerful goddess.
Exactly, and both Isis and Wadjet were closely associated with protection and rebirth.
Yeah. So if Cleopatra was trying to emulate these goddesses, then choosing a temple dedicated to one of them for her burial would make perfect sense.
It's like all these pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together.
I know, it's so exciting. We've got the unfinished tomb of Ramses VII, pointing to a time of instability.
Right.
Then we've got the search for clues in Alexandria and the symbolism of the cobra. And now this hidden chamber at Tapas Ceres Magna.
I know. It's amazing, right, how it's all connected.
It really is. And speaking of amazing discoveries, let's not forget about that incredible golden death mask that Alejandro Jimenez Serrano found.
Oh, yeah, that was stunning.
I mean, to find something so well preserved after thousands of years.
It's a testament to the artistry of the ancient Egyptians.
It really is. And the fact that they were able to identify the owner, Seti Hakaib, Eat,
Yeah.
just adds another layer of intrigue to this whole story.
It's like we're getting to know these people from the past, their lives, their deaths, even their beliefs about the afterlife.
And speaking of the afterlife, those CT scans that Alejandro did on the mummies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what a brilliant way to bring the past to life.
It's amazing how technology can help us uncover secrets that would have remained hidden otherwise.
And who could forget that scarab amulet found over the female mummy's heart?
Such a powerful reminder of the importance of those objects in ancient Egyptian beliefs.
It's like a physical link to a belief system that's thousands of years old.
It's humbling, isn't it, to realize that we're just a small part of this vast history.
It really is. Okay, so back to our main question. Do you think that hidden chamber at Tapas Ceres Magna will finally reveal the location of Cleopatra's tomb?
Well, we can't know for sure, but even if it doesn't, the search itself has already taught us so much.
That's true.
It's shown us the dedication of these archaeologists, the skill and artistry of the ancient Egyptians, and the enduring power of history.
It makes you wonder what else is out there waiting to be discovered.
It really does. This whole deep dive has got me thinking. If we
Right.
could ask Cleopatra just one question, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. There's so much I'd want to know. But I think I'd ask her what she thought her legacy would be.
Oh, that's interesting. Did she ever imagine that thousands of years later, people would still be fascinated by her?
Exactly. I mean, she was a powerful ruler, a skilled diplomat, and of course there's the whole love story with Mark Antony.
Right, a legendary figure.
Exactly. What would she think about all the attention she still gets?
That's a great question. I think I'd ask her about her relationship with Egypt.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
She was the last of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek dynasty, but she embraced Egyptian culture and traditions so fully.
Right, it's like she was both an outsider and an insider.
Exactly. I'd love to hear her perspective on that duality, how she navigated those two worlds.
Me too. It makes you wonder what she would think about our fascination with her, our attempts to piece together her story.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it, that our actions today might be influencing how future generations see us.
It is. It's like we're all part of this grand narrative of history, each thread interconnected.
It makes you think about your own legacy, doesn't it?
It does. What will people say about us thousands of years from now?
Who knows, but maybe that's part of the fun, the mystery of it all.
I think you're right.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to move on to our final question for this deep dive, and it's a big one. If we could bring one of these incredible archaeologists on the show to chat,
Oh, wow.
who would you choose?
Oh, that's tough. They're all so fascinating.
I know, right?
But I think I'd have to go with Kathleen Martinez.
Kathleen Martinez.
Yeah.
Why her?
I just love her passion, her unwavering belief that Cleopatra is buried at Taposiris Magna.
Yeah, she's really dedicated her life to proving that theory.
She has, and can you imagine the story she must have?
Oh, I bet.
From, digging in flooded tunnels
Right.
to facing down, skeptics in the field.
Exactly.
I think she'd be an amazing guest.
I think so too. And think about all the questions we could ask her.
Right, like what was it like to make that career switch?
Right, from law to archaeology.
Exactly, what challenges has she faced?
That keeps her going.
And of course, what does she think is really down there in that hidden chamber?
So many questions.
So many.
Well, even if we never get to interview Kathleen ourselves,
Yeah.
just the fact that this search for Cleopatra's tomb is still ongoing after all these centuries really speaks to the power of mystery.
It does, doesn't it? And the human desire to uncover the secrets of the past.
Absolutely. And, it reminds us that there's still so much we don't know about the ancient world.
Oh, yeah. Just when you think we've figured it all out, something new pops up.
Exactly like a hidden chamber beneath a temple.
Right.
Who knows what else is out there waiting to be discovered?
Pretty exciting to think about.
It is. It really is.
It is.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the search for Cleopatra's tomb.
It does.
And while we may never know for sure where she's buried,
Mm-hmm.
I think the journey itself has been pretty incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
We've learned so much about ancient Egypt. Its people, their beliefs.
Yeah, and the dedication of these archaeologists who are working tirelessly to piece together the past.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder that history isn't just about names and dates. It's about real people who lived and loved and made their mark on the world.
And their stories continue to fascinate us centuries later.
They do. And you know what? I think I'm feeling inspired to do a little more digging into ancient Egypt myself.
Oh, me too. Maybe plan a trip.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Until our next deep dive, keep exploring and never stop asking questions.
That's right. Thanks for joining us.
And if you ever find yourself wandering through a flooded tunnel looking for a lost tomb, don't forget your flashlight.
And your sense of adventure.
Exactly. See you next time.